Hey, Derek Lee with Starfish Coaching and Designers Business Academy. I'm coming back to you with another episode in our Design Business Tips series. This time, I'm going to share with you what to expect in your first year as an interior design business owner. If you're a new interior designer and you're new to business, this could be overwhelming. So let me share with you some things to expect so that you know what you're getting into. So if you're in school right now and you're thinking about starting your own business, or you're working for someone and you decide it's time to go on your own, then the first years in your business on the design side, you'd be trying to figure out what your own style is. This is a common point for designers as they evolve their career. So for you, figure out a few things ahead of time. Figure out what type of interior design do you want to do. There's a whole spectrum of it. I've talked about it before in my videos, but anything from the very light interior decor and styling, where it's much more creative and less technical, to the very technical interior architecture, if you want to call that way, where there's much more construction knowledge required and technical drawings. That's a broad spectrum. Figure out where your specialty lies and which part of it you like to do, and then you can define your business around that. The other thing is also, you got to figure out your niche. In the beginning, as a new designer, it's natural to feel that you don't want to give away anything because you need every single job that you can get. And then also there's an aspect of trying to discover what you like. So that's fine. Spend the first year or so figuring that out. But I would say try to figure out in your first year so that you can clarify what your niche is. Because customers looking for you, your specialty, needs to know. And your marketing message, your website, all of that stuff needs to know how to define that. For those of you who are interested in learning more about that, check out my episode here about defining your niche. Okay, so defining your niche is important as a designer, but then also on the business side is where you'll be having a lot of growth in your first years of your business. And the first year of business is all about planting seeds. Don't expect a project right away. You're going to need to plant seeds. It's like harvesting, right? You need to plant the seeds now so that you can reap the rewards later on. So in your first year, do a lot of networking. Tell a lot of people what you do and what your business is about. That act by itself is planting the seed. And this is pretty typical for all businesses, including interior design. So in your first year, don't expect high revenue. It's a lot of work to plant those seeds, but then in a couple of years, you're gonna be reaping those rewards. And there's ways to do it faster, one of which I do teach in my Interior Design Business Accelerator course, which you can check out with the link in the description. Okay, the activities involved with planting the seed is all about sales and marketing. It's true for any business owner. You need to bring in the work for your business, and that's not any different with interior design. So this is an aspect that you should be getting very good at with yourself. The good news is that you can use this time in the first year to really practice your craft and get it better and better. So these are things like networking, practicing your pitch and refining it, figuring out what your unique offering is so they can talk about it in an enticing way for people. And also figure out what your pricing strategy is, because you are going to get customers in the door if you do a lot of that sales and marketing work. So you got to figure out, okay, how do I charge accordingly, and how do I charge so that I can convert easily? So I would say in your first year, roll up your sleeve and get ready to go to work on the sales and marketing side. Learn as much as you can about it, because I know design school didn't teach you about that. So this is something you're going to have to expose yourself to learning more and more of. Another thing to expect in your first year is, because it's a new business, you're going to have to be figuring out your own process. Every designer is different in the way they do things, and every business is different in how they do things. So you got to figure out, okay, what's your secret recipe to get happy customers, to keep happy customers, and to get the projects done. So in the first few projects, you're going to be experimenting, trying different things, doing different things. But then after your first year, you want to be pretty solid in how you do things, because if you have a consistent recipe, then that's going to be more efficient, which means more profits. And then when you do build a team, that also means that now you have a formula that you can train your team on so that you can keep the consistent quality that your customers have been going to you for. But don't worry too much about that. That's more in your year 3 to 5. In the first year or two, it's about figuring out for yourself. My big tip here is to write things down. Even if it's just you right now in your business, it's good to write things down so that you can refer back, and then eventually you can take those notes and turn it into a standard operating procedure or a policy and procedure, which becomes your training document for your team. In this process, you very much have to take off your creative hat and put on your scientist hat. Think like a scientist and think very systematically what is step 1, step 2, and step 3, and think in a very linear fashion. That is what a good process and systematizing your business is all about. When you think you have your proven process down packed, then you want to be starting to build it as a system. And that's creating templates and writing out the workflow so that you can do the same thing over and over again in a consistent manner. And like I said, eventually when you have your team, you're going to want these templates and workflows as a training manual for your team so that they do it the way that you would want it done. And really, your first year in business is all about figuring out how to run your business. This, unfortunately, is going to be probably the biggest struggle for most designers because design school didn't teach us how to run a business, and you're gonna have to learn and fail on your way to figure out yourself. But the good news here is you can shortcut that learning curve. I've gone through building 8 different businesses in over my 25 years of experience in the industry, and I've put together a course which will teach you how to run a design business, an interior design business, so that you don't have to go through all those failings. You can check that out at designersbusinessacademy.net, and it's going to teach you all the fundamentals of running a business, like what I've mentioned here: sales and marketing, networking, refining your pitch. I even give you a 90-day sales goal to get your first job. In addition to that, there's gonna be templates and workflows, how to invoice, how to price your structure, some contracts. So these are all the essentials that every new interior design business owner needs. Things like contracts, templates for that, templates for timesheets, project workflows, how to manage a client is something that I'll be teaching you. And then also I even cover the common fears of managing money, collecting, sales. Those are all very common and real fears for creative business owners, and that's something that I touch on. So do check it out if you're in this situation right now with your career where you're wanting to start your own business. Don't learn and fail on your own. Leverage and shortcut your learning curve from my 25 years of industry experience. Check it out at designersbusinessacademy.net. So I hope you liked that episode, and I have lots more interior design business tips. If you are new to my channel, please subscribe to it. I have a playlist that goes through all of that specific for interior design business owners. And I also have a podcast where I bring in other successful interior design business owners on board to share some of their knowledge. So it's not just me. Tap into the whole community of interior design business owners. Check that out here, and it's on Apple, Google, Spotify. If you like this episode and it's helped you, then please pass it on to your design colleagues so that they can benefit from my knowledge. I'm Eric Lee with Starfish Coaching and Designers Business Academy, and I can turbocharge your success.